like an empty shell, like my own mind is a prison cell. Feel myself sinking lower. Somebody poke me, I might fall over. Gotta keep cool, gotta maintain faith. Even when you feel foolish, like you lost the race. Cause it's not when it's too tough to take. It's long after you feel like you'll break. It's alright, alright. Hush, little darling, it's alright. Hide your eyes, so it's time to fight. Hush, little darling. I'll be the last man standing. Whoa, last man standing. Last man standing. I'll always be the last man standing. Wish I could shed my shame like an old snake skin, so empty.
Hey everyone, it is Corey Poirier back again with the latest episode of the Let's Do Influencing show. Really excited to have you join me today. And I didn't mention this yesterday in the last video, but you can see that behind me. I was almost going to go to the wrong side, but you can see that behind me, the hat hanging there. And so every day I'm going to have something different there. Yesterday I had the hat, today as well, and then we're going to switch it up every day. There'll be always something new there. But that is actually my late grandfather's hat. And so I thought that would be an appropriate way to kick off the show. Yesterday was the very first episode. Today, of course, being number 2, and we're going to keep going from there. So in this show, I try to help you gain insight about becoming an influencer, and with short little nuggets. So I don't want it to be long and drawn out. I want you to be able to take something that you can use to become a bigger influencer, to influence more people, to impact more lives without having to spend a lot of time studying or having to try to implement 20 different nuggets at once. So today what I wanted to talk about was what I learned from music icon Bif Naked. So great Canadian music icon. And what I wanted to talk about is in relation to the fact that you can achieve things regardless of your age. You're never too young, you're never too old. I get this question often. People are always saying, well, it's easy for you because you started when you were younger, or you're at a certain age now, so you still have this amount of time. For whatever reason, there's this thought process that you can be either too young or too old to start or reinvent yourself. And so I want to dismiss this today, and I want to tell you what I learned from Bif Naked and how it relates to this. So first and foremost, we have lots of proof that you can either reinvent yourself or create yourself for the first time at any age. So examples could be one of our show guests, Jack Canfield, co-creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. Him and his business partner, Mark Victor Hansen, created that book series, one of the most successful short story, inspirational, nonfiction book series, I think, of all time. They created that. I believe they were in the range of late 40s, so I believe 48, 49, in that range. We know George Foreman became the oldest heavyweight boxing champion. I don't have the date in front of me or the age in front of me, but I think he was around 49 as well. Might have that wrong, but either way, we know he became the oldest heavyweight boxing champion when people said it wasn't possible. Colonel Sanders started KFC, I think, around 65 years of age when he got his old age pension check and realized how small it was, and he went around selling the chicken door to door to get the money to fund KFC, and it's become a pretty big brand today. Then Louise Hay started Hay House late in life, and that became a dominant brand, and is a dominant brand in the world of personal and professional development and self-help and spiritual awakening. And so again, she started that at a later age in life. On the flip side, I started my first business publication interviewing thought leaders and sharing their stories at 18, at a time when I guess nobody had done that in the little community I was from. And so that was a fairly young age to do something like that. And I was told that I wouldn't be able to do it, but lo and behold, it happened. We also had somebody on our show recently who was just turned 20. He had been a teen entrepreneur before that, and in his, I believe, 18 and 20 year age range, and he had already been running the business before that, and a social media influencer. But I think he hit around, I think he's at about 200,000+ followers on Twitter right now as an influencer, and did that in his teens. So just to show you what's possible, I was actually asked to be on a show the other day. The interview's coming up. And the show is put on by, I believe she's 15, and she launched a podcast, and she's wanting to reach Generation Z, so the next generation after millennials, and show them what's possible. So again, here's somebody that's 15 launching a podcast. And one of my podcasting colleagues. I remember him launching a show with his son, and I believe his son was like 5 or 6, and they launched the show. I can't even remember the name of the show, but they launched it together. So he was 5 or 6 launching a podcast. So the point is, you're never too young, you're never too old. You know, whatever that age is. And to prove it on the other side, I did share some stories like the KFC and what have you. But I guess that's a good segue to talk about healthy eating. But we had somebody on our show, I guess about a week ago, Richard Davison, who we're going to be airing his episode soon. He's a 77-year-old alkalarian, which means he teaches people how to turn your body into an alkaline state, which, you know, translation is really, really healthy state. And Richard's 77. He calls himself a 77-year-old young person who is out hiking. He's out doing all kinds of things that we don't necessarily associate with late 70s. And we know of people that are in their 80s and even early 90s, I believe I've heard, running marathons. So the point of this is, you're never too young, you're never too old. You can accomplish what you're trying to accomplish at any age. I'm 42 now, and there's no end in sight for me. And I feel like I'm just getting started. And at 52, I'm going to say, if I was here, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, doing a video, I would say I'm just getting started. So I don't believe that there's any age limit. So you can crush it, and I want you to know that. So how does this all relate full circle to what I learned from Bif Naked? Well, in our interview, Bif Naked, we did an interview during her book tour. So the interview was before she was going out to perform at her book tour, which is a music and spoken tour, all combined into one. I was interviewing her, so I had a time to sit with her and interview her and chat about the book. And she shared with me that she didn't have an intention to write a book originally. She didn't think she could write a book. She wondered if anybody wanted to hear what she had to say. And she was a musician and releasing music and thought, you know what, this is cool. This is my genius zone. This works for me. And she had those fears about writing a book. And a publisher approached her, and somebody that she knew said, people are waiting to hear your story. And eventually they convinced her. And what she said she learned from the process, now that she is a book author, she has a book out, she's reaching lives. I'm sure she's having people say, thank you for sharing your story and the challenges that she faced that people can learn from. But what she learned from that experience is, she said that, I realized you can reinvent yourself in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and beyond. So again, goes back to the point, whether you're trying to reinvent yourself or invent yourself for the first time or create yourself for the first time or crush some major goal that you've always had for yourself, I want you to know you can do it at any time, and the proof is in the pudding. We have all kinds of examples. I shared some from our show, some from people that you would know, probably household names that have done it, and there's example after example. So if you want proof that you're never too young, you're never too old, you know, just do some Googling about people that are crushing things and making big things happen at young ages and old ages and middle ages alike. So just know that you can make it happen. And that's what I was reminded by, and therefore learned from Bif Naked, is you can continue to create and invent yourself at any age. Thank you, everybody. I'm Corey Poirier, and we'll catch you next time on Let's Do Influencing. And don't forget, watch the next screen to learn more about how you can grab a free copy of our Enlightened book, or feel free to go there right now to letsdoinfluencing.com. Again, letsdoinfluencing.com. Go there. You can sign up and grab a free copy of our Enlightened book. I don't know how long we're going to keep it up there, because we're going to be revamping the website to incorporate videos and audios. But if you go there now, hopefully you'll be able to get the free book. If not, we'll make sure there's some gift there for you. But if it's right now, if it's current, go grab a copy of the Enlightened book. It's 100 and some pages. It has the potential, hopefully, to transform your life, and you'll learn a lot about influencing in a meaningful way through that book. Thanks, everyone. Again, I'm Corey Poirier. Have a magnificent day.